I coded 8 vanilla-style Minecraft updates, overhauling the game exactly how Mojang would. Everything you see in this video is 100% playable and publicly available for download. I really hope you enjoy. This video is sponsored by War Thunder, more on that later. In just 7 days, I'm gonna code the ultimate pillager update, transforming them into a lethal killing force that guards a fortified city. And to top it all off, I'm gonna code a custom pillager boss with an insane twist. Should you prevail in battle, your fame will stretch far and wide, and you will rule the pillagers with an iron fist. Your legions will burn the homes of your enemies and splay their ashes into the wind. Can I actually do any of this? So here's the game plan. I'm gonna fix the pillager outpost's biggest problem. An outpost is a military settlement away from the main force. There is no main force. Not gonna lie, I thought the pillager's home base was the Woodland Mansion, but no, there's not a single one there. So let me get this straight. Everyone's buddy-buddy during the raids, but the pillagers don't get invited back to the bachelor pad? And where do ravagers go outside of raids? Do pillagers sleep in these tents, and do they smell like pumpkins? I have so many questions. Day 1, I'm gonna fix this mess and give these pillagers some proper housing. My ultimate goal is to make the city feel like it belongs in vanilla Minecraft. So I spawned a pillager outpost next to a village, and I basically want to blend the two styles together. Since pillagers kind of remind me of Vikings, why not throw in a bit of a Viking twist? After 4 hours of painstaking labor, we built the ugliest village ever. This sucks, everything is in a line and weirdly tall. Well, eventually all of this is gonna be procedurally generating in the world, and when it does, trust me, it'll look good. Just like a normal village, every single house is built with a purpose. We have the barracks, the blacksmith, the feasting hall, the Fletcher, the lumber mill, and the stable. The Fletcher is my favorite. Not only does he make the arrows, but he's also the one that makes the pumpkin dummies that you see everywhere. Everything was great, until I made one massive mistake. One so embarrassing that I debated cutting it from the video and pretending like it never happened. You'll notice that I've got 2 versions of the same house. I had this whole elaborate idea that the player could upgrade the pillager houses using a fancy new block and basically teach the pillagers to be the best version of themselves. I wasted a ton of time on something that I had to scrap in the end for being low quality. And I'm not proud of it, but I gave up and I went to bed utterly defeated. But when I woke up the following morning, it was abundantly clear that if I'm going to make the ultimate pillager update, I need to get it together. I still have 6 days, and that's more than enough time to turn things around. So I'm diving headfirst into the unknown, spending the entire second day working on the roads. I've never done this before, so I have no concept of how difficult this is going to be or how long this is going to take. What I do know is that I have nearly 100 jigsaw blocks, over 1,000 lines of configuration code, and 0 margin for error. This is gonna be a long day. Uh-oh. Okay, so the roads spawn, but our houses are missing. I'm guessing it's because they don't have enough space. Yeah, so I made some smaller houses and those seem to work fine. The good news is that I configured everything perfectly without making a single mistake. The bad news is that due to space constraints, this was never going to work in the first place, and I did all that work for nothing. I spent an hour making some larger roads, and thankfully that seemed to work fine. Whatever, good enough, let's move on. It's the dawn of day 3, and something about this village is off. Yeah, it's still kind of floaty and even goes underground occasionally, which can be really cool, but it's usually ugly. I want you to look at vanilla villages, how they mold to the landscape. This is a dance of mathematics between man and earth. A dance that will be my ultimate challenge. Done. Apparently Mojang made it so that I could change this one variable here and then magically the roads just stop being flat. I'm in this weird situation where I finished everything I had planned for today in literally 10 minutes. So I'm feeling pretty good about myself right now, but looking at the village, I can't shake the feeling that something's missing. You see, pillagers are jerks, so naturally they're gonna make a lot of enemies. They need ironclad defenses, like a giant Viking palisade wall. I'm telling you, you get behind enemy lines, and when you turn around and see this giant spiked wall to your rear, your heart starts racing because it feels like you're not supposed to be here. But by far, my favorite part is that the wall adapts to the terrain, and we even have guards in the watchtowers. Since they're the ones protecting the motherland, they should be equipped with the finest pillager weaponry money can buy. So I gave them rockets. That sounded cool at the time, it sounded easy, but there's a problem. You can beat them by standing still and having a snack. Could you imagine defeating a Navy SEAL by eating a Slim Jim? I might have been willing to look past this if they didn't also have Stormtrooper aimed. Look, I'm not even moving. It was a nice thought, but forget about it. I'm taking away the rockets. It's more trouble than it's worth. If I wanted rockets, I'd just play War Thunder, today's video sponsor. War Thunder is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made. It's available now for free on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and mobile. War Thunder lets you take command of over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, ships across 10 major nations, spanning everything from 1920s biplanes to modern fighter jets and main battle tanks. The vehicles are insanely detailed with realistic graphics and authentic sound design that really puts you in the cockpit. There are over 95 million players worldwide, and whether you want fast-paced arcade battles or a full-on simulator mode, War Thunder has a mode that fits how you want to play. If you sign up using my links in the pinned comment or video description, new and returning players on PC and consoles who haven't played in at least 6 months will get a massive bonus pack available for a limited time. That includes multiple premium vehicles, the exclusive Eagle of Valor vehicle decorator, 100,000 silver lions, and 7 days of premium account to give you a huge head start. We are way behind where I thought we would be at this point, and honestly, I just didn't budget my time all that well. But that's a problem for tomorrow. It's tomorrow. Gulp. Okay, so it's pretty clear that I'm gonna need a little bit of backup. So I reached out to my friend Zeplington, amazing YouTuber by the way, everything this guy makes is just a masterpiece of art. Well, I asked him to build a Viking Grand Hall, maybe something similar-ish to Dragon's Reach from Skyrim. While he's doing that, I want to make the village feel more colorful and alive by adding some shops. I imagine that these merchant pillagers are like the disappointments of the pillager world.
Dad, I don't know how to tell you this, but I
knew this day would come, Billy. You're my son, and I love you no matter what team you bat for.
What? No, it's not that. I don't want to pillage. I want to sell succulents and other desk plants.
So I made a plant shop, a fish shop, a walk-in candle shop, a bakery, and a bar that sells dread daiquiris, the pillager drink of choice. When you drink it, it gives you a bad omen effect. Nothing too crazy. Oh yeah, that is looking real nice. I decided now was also a good time to fill the houses with loot and even add a new chest type. But yeah, what do you guys think? Should Mojang give us more chest variants? I mean, when I think about it, it's pretty weird that we have like a dozen different boat types and then there's only one type of chest. Also, I decided to swap out the worst pillager homes for the better ones since the village textures just looked a little bit too bland before. And frankly, Zeplington's house blows mine out of the water. I mean, just look at what he built. It's such an imposing centerpiece, a grand hall truly fit for a pillager jarl. I asked Zeplington to keep the inside empty since its sole purpose is to be a boss arena. Also, you might have noticed that there's deep slate in this build. If you've ever been to the Deep Dark, you'll see darkwood planks scattered throughout. Could pillagers have tried to pillage the Deep Dark? I would imagine this didn't go so well for them. But what if one pillager survived the slaughter and honored the memory of his fallen brothers by pulling the very deep slate they died on from the earth to serve as the bedrock of a new nation? A flagrant display of power and resilience, reminding his enemies that he is the mightiest pillager that has ever lived and reminding himself that his empire was carved from blood. Or maybe Zeplington just liked deep slate. I didn't ask. It's day 5, and thanks to my very generous Patreon supporters, I was able to hire Mogwai. a professional 3D artist to make the boss model for me. It's beautiful, and as I was animating it, I couldn't stop thinking about the Totem of Undying around its neck. I'm pretty sure Mogwai only meant for this to be decorative because we didn't talk about it at all beforehand, but it got my mind racing with ideas, so I've been wrestling with a difficult decision. Do I behave responsibly and only have one boss phase for the sake of time and my sanity? Or do I go completely overboard? As if that's even a real question. When you kill the Jarl, he'll channel the power of Odin and transform into a lightning god. He'll begin to levitate and create 4 additional copies of his massive magic Buster Blade sword and control them all with telekinesis. This dude looks like he wants a nice hug. Can I give him a hug? Heh. Idiot. It's a trap, because he'll turn sideways and start stabbing. That was the plan, but most of you guys wanted me to keep it as vanilla as possible. Fine, message received. Instead, we'll make him stronger and faster, give him some modest lightning powers, and then make it so he can whip his sword around and deflect arrows like an anime superhero. It's day 6, and now we have our animations complete. We just gotta import them into the game. Oh god, look at him slide around. Oh. I'm sorry. It's okay. We'll fix you. We'll fix you. Oh, dude, his legs are moving. Where'd he go? Okay, that should have fixed it. No! That was a lot harder than I thought it would be, but I eventually got everything working. Although it's too early to celebrate, I have less than 2 days to code an entire boss battle, a task which seems nearly impossible. But I'm Whimzee. I'm not a quitter, usually. So I looked to my past data packs for answers, and what I found was remarkable. Sensible file names, code comments with words of affirmation. I know I can do this because I've done it before. Everything came together beautifully. And I'll show you in a minute. But first, this guy named AFRH Music reached out to me about making a custom music disc for my next update. Then he offered to make a song for the boss battle, and I told him, yeah, I don't know.
Wait 2 seconds. I'm gonna send something.
Okay. 14 minutes later. What? I can't believe I doubted this man. This was just the demo he cobbled together. The actual song is like 1,000,000 times better. Forget the music disc. We're gonna play the song as background music in-game when you're fighting the boss. It's the dawn of the final day, which I spent testing the boss and getting the music to play correctly. But at last, the Jarl is complete, and when you approach him, it'll trigger the boss battle. His first attack is an overhead swing that'll cut through the finest armor like butter. His second attack uses his arm-mounted crossbow to fire a flurry of arrows, leaving his enemies riddled with holes. For his third attack, he leaps into the air and delivers a swift death to those foolish enough to enter his great hall. Do you see these animation keyframes? Yeah, that's Braille. It says you're f***ed. You can pretty easily kill him by keeping your distance and using a bow, so honestly, the first phase of the battle, it isn't that bad. But just as you think you've won, his Totem of Undying activates and the Pillager Jarl turns into the Pillager God. He's faster and hits harder. He shoots flaming arrows and has much better aim. And now, his leaping attack summons bolts of lightning. Fine. All of this is very similar to Phase 1, but now the Pillager God can block arrows, and trust me, this changes everything, because I guarantee you 99% of the players are going to rely on a bow in the beginning. But this means you will cross swords with the literal god in a 1-to-1 duel to the death. In my opinion, Minecraft's bosses are not very interactive, and in most cases it comes down to a damage race. I get that Minecraft's combat is fairly simplistic, especially if you're not speedrunning or you're not doing competitive PvP or something, but you gotta remember that these boss battles, they're made for the average player. And I think I struck a good balance here. See, you have to run in a different direction depending on which attack he's using, and obviously this isn't super mechanically demanding on the player's part, but it's also more than just eat a golden apple and click, click, click. Anyway, we got an hour left, and obviously we need to reward the player should they emerge victorious. So I imported the Pillager Jarl into Blockbench, deleted the Pillager Jarl, and now we just have a giant sword, which I then imported into the game. It looks really big and imposing and a lot different than the other swords, but in actuality, it's just a retextured netherite sword, which means it doesn't offer any advantage to the other players in a PvP environment. I think it would be cool seeing Mojang add different item variants like this. I personally always appreciate in-game cosmetics, especially when you don't have to pay for them. But when you have this sword in your inventory, the pillagers will recognize your strength and bend the knee. You become the pillagers' ruler. You are their Jarl, and you will make them pay taxes. Come on, guys, let's see those W2s. As you can see, you get a whole bunch of goodies, and this one's gonna be a little bit controversial, but they also have a slim chance of giving you diamonds, making this the first renewable source of diamonds in the game. In my opinion, mining for diamonds now is terrible. We either need a way to automate collecting diamonds or a way of insta-mining deep slate, because this is boring. So yeah, there's the update, but is it fun? Well, I got my YouTuber friends together to try it out.
Do I want to go in there? I'm scared.
These guys up here are not. I'm just walking in. See ya. I own this place now. Ooh.
Wow, you really took it up a notch with this one.
Oh, there's so many back this time.
I'm just ignoring them.
I'm gonna have to clear this whole place. It's gonna be a ghost town by the time I'm done.
I'll take a bullet for you, Shovel.
No, you're blocking him.
Oh no. Dread Daiquiwi.
Okay, I'm gonna go into the building the furthest away from the big spooky tower in the middle.
I found you the one with the biggest, steepest hill possible.
Yeah, great. Love that.
You're hurting this poor, defenseless animal. Here, let me even it for you.
Oh,
there we go. Yeah. Whoa, Josh, look out! Where do they come from? No. Oh, this is so weird. Oh man.
This is epic.
You know what? I'm gonna pull a Santa Claus. I'm gonna go through the chimney. You pillager Carl!
Let's talk about this. What is this? There's so many arrows.
Oh, he's bringing in reinforcements. That wasn't even part of the boss battle.
I'm going to. Yeah, that's right. Oh, he's in the wall.
Teabag him.
Easy.
Oh, look at you little anime guy.
He's old now.
What I didn't tell you, Josh, is that there's a third phase.
Oh, I'm going up here. No, please, please, too hard.
I'm low.
Oh no! Do it! Oh no!
Look at him weighing down.
All right, Mackstein, was it fun?
It was so much fun.
I regard the Pillager video as my magnum opus. It is the best thing I have ever made, and it's not even close. Every time I rewatch it, I'm filled with despair since I feel like I'll never be able to make anything this amazing ever again. The structure looks cool. I mean, Zeppelington built the centerpiece, obviously, but I built some of the stuff on the outside, and I think that looks good too. Plus, this was the best boss I ever made. The jungle boss, I liked it a lot, but I mean, this is just way better. It's got boss music that changes as you fight. It's got multiple phases. I mean, come on. And I legit spent 4 months just working on the video portion of this, obsessing over every little detail, and it certainly paid off because now it's my most viewed video on this channel. I am extremely proud of this one, but it also constantly looms over me. It's hard to follow up, and I think it kind of put me into a YouTube trap, because now I chase a lot of these big blockbuster releases, and I want these huge videos to do really well, but I also don't like leaving the internet for huge swaths of time, because then it just puts a lot of pressure on me that, like, whatever I'm cooking up, like, it's gotta be really good. I'd much rather be able to release a video every month, or even more ideally once every 2 weeks, but I just don't want the quality to slip too much. It's a really tough balancing act. Also, I love tier lists, and I kind of feel like ranking all of my updates. This video is easily an S tier. It is so good, it makes me sad. In just 7 days, I'm gonna code the ultimate end update, transforming it from a barren wasteland into a thriving ecosystem of alien biomes with terrifying new creatures. After all, it's been 8 years since Mojang updated the end, and I'm tired of waiting. So, Here's the game plan. I'm going to keep this update as vanilla as possible using the clues publicly available to code and update the way Mojang would. Most importantly, I don't want to go bananas and add something ridiculous that Mojang would never add. The Minecraft 1.16 Nether update is the gold standard of Minecraft updates, and after a few episodes, I want my end update to be a similar size. It's day 1, and I spent the morning looking around on Google trying to get inspired. Remember Minecraft dungeons? Well, Mojang has this biome called the End Wilds with dry and crunchy looking yellow grass. I figured I'd start small by adding that to the game, and immediately, whoa, what the? I ran into a major problem. I've made Minecraft updates before using data packs, which is like modding, only easier and with some really weird limitations, like not being able to add custom blocks in a block game. The only solution is to set aside my wealth of data pack knowledge and learn Minecraft modding on the fly. After all, how hard could it possibly be? Okay, pretty hard. So I sought the guidance of a sensei, and that's when I found Coppin Joe. He literally taught ChatGPT how to make Minecraft mods.
No shot. Wait, it used my video for this?
Yeah, this guy's the real deal.
Today, we embark on our study of the
Minecraft modding.
I bought Coppin Joe's Minecraft modding course for 50 clams, and I got my project set up in no time. Now I can type my code here, press this little green arrow, which boots up a fresh instance of Minecraft with my mod installed. Again, the only reason I'm doing any of this is because I thought it would be easier to make custom blocks with modding. And yeah, it's super easy. You make your texture, write a tiny bit of Java code, and your block appears in the game. It's accessible through the creative menu, it has a hitbox, but best of all, it's a real block with all the performance benefits that come with it. So I used my new superpower to add additional endstone variants, which helps a little bit, but after looking through 100 endstone builds, I've concluded endstone is ugly, except for when people use it with dark prismarine, which is so needlessly expensive and difficult to get for no reason. You've got to kill at minimum 2 guardians and a squid for a single block. Can you imagine making a house out of this? The sheer blood toll is unthinkable. End sludge, an environmentally conscious alternative that is also easy to get. Finally, a new dark turquoise block. You're welcome. I made a brick and a packed variant just like normal mud, and I think they turned out pretty great. It gives me Terraria dungeon vibes. Day 1 was a strong start, and I went to bed feeling confident. So confident that I felt ready to tackle even more advanced blocks. It's the morning of day 2, and as I ate my breakfast and watched another Coppin Joe tutorial, I heard this.
Under net, and then Minecraft, and then right here, you have every single class available. So for example, in block, there's every type of block class. Hey, you know what? I really want to know how a magma block works. Absolutely no worries. We go to M, magma block, bam, there you go.
What? I didn't know I could do that. This changes everything. With my years of Java experience, I can just look at how the game works, reverse engineer almost anything I need, and with one sentence, my sensei opened my mind to the secrets of the Matrix. So I took the red pill and I put the tutorials in ×2 speed. I couldn't get enough. I skipped like 60% of the lectures. Just show me the good stuff, Coppin Joe. Show me how deep the rabbit hole goes. As you can see, I added a ton of new blocks. In fact, if I stack all of them and jump, yeah, there's a lot here, so I'll just show you some of the highlights. So I made custom grass and bioluminescent vegetation, one called chorus roots, which do nothing besides glow slightly, and the other called end spores, which emit these little particles. You can use them to craft spore torches or spore lanterns. I also added a new full cube light block, which I think looks really good when paired with purpur. I added slabs and stairs and even a new wood type called chorus wood. Okay, cool, but are these blocks actually good? I decided to put them to the test by giving them to my friend Shovel241, who's a professional Minecraft builder. Dude, how did you even make this? Yeah, the blocks are fine. Also, I am 100% adding what he built to the game because you guys are going to love it. I went to bed that night feeling nigh unstoppable, but I knew tomorrow would be my biggest challenge yet. It's day 3, and I think I'm ready to code my first custom mob. Honestly, I'm pretty scared because there's like a million steps and a single mistake could take hours to fix. So I tried not to think about that, and instead I focused on copying the Blastling design from Minecraft Dungeons. Basically, the Blastling is a buff Enderman that shoots magenta fireballs. It's sick, it's a good place to start. Or so I thought, because when I went to add the fire, I noticed that modded entities can only have one active texture at a time. That's dumb. I can have a bunch of active textures when I make data packs. I'm sure there's a way, but I gotta be smart with how I prioritize my time. And since the flames are just aesthetic, I really can't afford to spend hours on this, especially when I still need to set up the animations and each of their timings, configure the AI and define a list of priorities, and even come up with a list of attributes for the blastling. Speed? What's a good speed? I don't know, 5 miles an hour maybe?
Oh god.
I was off to a rough start, and it was only downhill from there. So you know how Enderman's eyes glow a little bit? Well, I want the purple parts on my blastling to do kind of the same thing. So I looked at the Enderman code, found this render feature layer thing. I found a reference to a texture, looked through the game's files, and I found it, the Enderman's eyes. Too easy, I smugly thought prematurely. I tried really hard to replicate what Mojang did, and with every attempt, my game crashed. Over and over again, like a Russian car crash compilation on YouTube. I felt like I could do literally anything at the start of today, but I was humbled. My training has only just begun, and I need to accept that some things are simply beyond my power level. I can't afford to spend more than one day making this mob. I couldn't even figure out how to get the fire texture or the glowing effect to work, so making the blastling shoot projectiles was out of the question. I need to keep it simple. We can salvage this, but we need to pivot. This guy is now called the End Brute, a fiercely territorial mob found in the End Wilds. Why are his arms purple if he doesn't shoot fire? From clobbering Endermen with his fists! The End is now an ecosystem with a pecking order. Dragon, End Brute, Endermen, Endermites. Games like Monster Hunter do this well. The world doesn't revolve around the player, it goes on with or without you. Are you guys buying this? I really hope you're buying this. So I coded a custom melee attack because that's the best I could do. I'm sorry. If you can believe it, I had originally planned to add 3 mobs today, and okay, I added like 75% of one mob with some questionable animations. Maybe my hubris got the better of me. Maybe I shouldn't have skipped 60% of my sensei's lectures. Needless to say, my confidence was shooketh, but the trials that awaited me on day 4 would shatter it completely. TerraBlender, the true final boss of this challenge. Want to add a custom biome to Minecraft? Apparently Mojang made it really hard, and that's why TerraBlender exists. It's something that developers can use to make adding biomes to Minecraft easier. When I went to add my custom biome, I froze in horror. Overworld? Nether? Where's the end? Unlike before, there's no pivoting around this. We need TerraBlender to work, or there's no way that we can update the end. Surely there must be some kind of mistake. Little did I know, TerraBlender was about to derail my entire training arc, and I was in full-blown panic mode. I googled but found nothing. I never realized how spoiled I was making data packs. If you get stuck, you can Google literally anything, no matter how niche, and there's always a Reddit post with a helpful commenter telling you exactly what you need to do. The Minecraft commands community is humongous. The Minecraft mod dev community is fragmented, and from what I can see, it's a lot smaller. Okay, I am a 4-day-old modder. I need to be spoon-fed like a baby because I don't know what I'm doing and I'm scared. I found the TerraBlender GitHub. It had a wiki, which was completely useless. I clicked the issues tab out of desperation. Surely someone else has encountered this problem before, right? And then I found it. A glimmer of hope, a light in the darkness. One poster insinuated that the end dimension biome support was added for Minecraft 1.20.4 in TerraBlender. How he figured that out, I have no idea, but I'm choosing to believe him because I have literally no other choice. Unfortunately, I was still on Minecraft 1.20.2 at the time because I hate re-downloading all my mods. I took a shortcut, and instead I made a ton of extra work for myself. So I tried updating my mod, and it had some unintended consequences. But thankfully, I was able to fix it, and my mod was fully updated. Phew! Crisis averted. TerraBlender still doesn't work. Oh god, I thought I was in the clear, but my hopes and dreams were TerraBlended into a failure smoothie and flushed down the skibbity toilet. I don't like asking for help, but I'm out of options. So I turned to the TerraBlender support Discord and asked, are there any guides, examples, or documentation on how to do this? Everybody ignored me. For the first time in my Minecraft career, I was completely on my own. My sensei couldn't help me, and TerraBlender's more secretive than the Illuminati. I copied the exact version on their GitHub for Minecraft 1.20.4, and no dice. It was like I was missing the classes I needed to update the end. I put the pieces together, and there must be a version of TerraBlender that Glitchfiend is keeping from the public. But who is Glitchfiend, and what are they hiding? Well, it turns out it's a shadowy group of developers conspiring against me. I did some sleuthing, and I found out that they're the same people who made Biomes O'Plenty. Their 1.20.4 version has end biomes, including an end wilds. Well, this is awkward. Looking through their code, they also make use of Terra Blender, so I found their Gradle properties and jackpot. Terra Blender version 3.3.09. You can't hide from me. I used that version, rebuilt my project, and yes, I couldn't believe my eyes. It worked. It's really ugly. I jumped around for a bit in celebration, but it was a bittersweet moment. Sure, my sensei's teachings were working and I felt my power level soar to unimaginable heights, but I wasted an entire day on something that should have taken 10 minutes tops. And after all that work, I somehow made the end dimension even worse. I'm so tired, but the timeline's in shambles and I need to keep going. I got the end brutes to spawn and there's definitely way too many of them, but whatever, we'll fix that later. Then I coded some trees and I forgot to make leaves, so I used a random block as a placeholder, and to put it mildly, they need some work. I tried fixing my weird trees and I made them long. I wanted to keep going, but I was making mistakes I wouldn't normally make, so I decided to just go to bed. It's day 5, and frankly, this end update's been a disaster. If I'm gonna turn this around, it needs to happen right now. Let's start small. Step 1, get the grass to spawn. Configured feature, placed feature, config feature, registerable. Yeah, I'm in way over my head. I poked around the game code and I found vegetation patch feature config. I don't know, maybe that sounds like something, but it wanted a million parameters and I just couldn't figure out what to pass it to make it happy. I got all but one. Registry entry? What the hell does that even mean? And why would grass concern itself with such matters? I was getting pissed off and I needed some solitude, a place to be alone with my thoughts. So I went back to the Terra Blender support Discord. I'm a 336-month-old baby and I demand to be spoon-fed. I looked through a ton of Minecraft modding Discords and I found one that seemed active. And that's when I met Neves, this random guy that was on his own Minecraft modding training arc, and he was having trouble making trees. Oh my god, I just figured that out myself. So I told him what I did to make my trees. Success. I'm glad you got that working. Have you by any chance ever gotten grass to generate? I helped you. Now you help me. Neves, I swear to God if you leave me now. Oh, the missing link. I made the change that Neves suggested and... Oh, we're in business, baby, let's go! I did the impossible. I connected with another human being in the Minecraft modding community, and through the wisdom of my sensei and the power of friendship, we will prevail. After Neves helped me add grass, adding end spores, block piles, discs of end sludge, and more varied terrain was easy. Neves and I went our separate ways, and while I continued working on my end update, he made capybaras with attitude. I love these guys, these are just so cute. You know, something tells me we're gonna be okay. I made some custom leaves and I decided to make them bushy. I know I said I wouldn't go bananas and add something crazy that Mojang would never add, but I think the end is supposed to be this weird alien dimension. It's a blank slate for Mojang to maybe bend the rules of Minecraft a bit, but then I realized rules exist for a reason. The bits that extended outside of the normal block range became black. It was a weird rendering issue and I'm not sure how to fix it. So I tried making the leaves glow and it looked a little bit too radioactive for my taste. So I turned it down a bit and now I think it looks amazing. Speaking of bending the rules, I got a little sidetracked with my chorus wood button. Unlike regular buttons, you can press this one really fast, but more importantly, chorus wood buttons now output a 1-tick pulse when pressed. If you're a redstoner, you'll immediately know that's a huge deal. This isn't a redstone video, but basically in some cases, you can save a lot of space. I don't know if Mojang would add this, but if they did, I don't think it would hurt anything, so I think I can justify including this. I wanted to play with different tree types, so I added these mega trees and it randomly started raining. Clearly I'm messing with forces I don't fully understand and is having some unintended consequences. It's not stopping, what the heck? The game was just done taking commands from me apparently. I make one mod and like a bitter ex-girlfriend, Minecraft commands are just being as petty as possible. I couldn't decide what tree type I liked more, so I was like, screw it, I'll just add both. I knew I wanted to add a thick layer of end sludge to the bottom of the end wilds, and I got it working no problem. Oh god, oh no. What have I done? There's been an end brute genocide right beneath my nose. Millions dead, and it's all my fault. I shut down Minecraft, unable to face what I've done, and I went to bed. It's day 6, and overall, I'm feeling much better about our progress. Now we just need to add some structures. I loaded a super flat world and I spent like 5 hours building. I mostly added a bunch of simple structures to make the end feel less empty. First, I built these little treasure platforms that could either have a shulker box with loot, or it's a shulker box enemy. Then I made a few of these little pillars that'll spawn all over the end, and under the tallest one, there's a hidden chest. I kind of find myself zoning out as I walk through the current end because there's nothing. There's nothing to look at, there's nothing to do. These are basically mini games to stimulate neuron activation. Remember when I said that you can make a sick temple design with these new endstone blocks? That doesn't apply to me apparently. So I decided to scrap this one since it was just so uninspired and into the trash you go. But I like this ruined temple design. I want the end to feel like it has a history, and little points of interest like this make a huge difference. I made a little outpost tower for the end brutes, and I want any build I make for them to have the same sort of style. I copied and pasted the structure around and made a whole castle design with a massive pile of enderite inside. You'll be rewarded handsomely if you can raid it, but good luck. You guys are probably like, excuse me, enderite, what? Well, a long time ago, I made a small mod that added a new tier of ore to the game called enderite, which is like netherite, only better in every way. Well, I cheated and I copied and pasted in all of that code into this project. There's also treasure chests all over the place, and because I love you guys for watching my video for so long, I'm gonna put an extra hidden chest in this back corner in the top left of the castle. It's a secret, don't tell anyone. In my opinion, it's really weird that we don't have anything underground to explore in the end. We should definitely have caves, but I don't have enough time to learn how to make those right now, so instead I'm gonna make a procedurally generated sewer-themed dungeon. I tossed those rooms together in like 2 hours, and I spent another hour configuring everything and making sure that everything worked as expected. So now, in the end wilds, you'll find these little holes with tiny dungeons at the bottom with endermite spawners and some extra loot for the player. It's day 7, and I have big plans. Now that I'm done with my builds, I'm gonna configure Shovel's builds to spawn in the end. Working the shovel gave me a glimpse into the mind of a professional Minecraft builder. I'd show you guys the replay, but I think it got corrupted. But trust me, this man's working hard. He starts by making assets to copy and paste around, and eventually it turns into this massive end brute castle. You can see he does the same thing with these temples over here too. So I configured all of his builds to spawn in the world, and they take this end update to the next level. Imagine walking through the end and seeing this behemoth on the horizon. Should you overcome the dangers that await you, you'll be rewarded with treasure beyond your wildest dreams. But again, good luck. Also, I decided to completely change the way that end brutes spawn. So walking through the end wilds before with the end brutes everywhere was extremely stressful. So now the end brutes will only spawn around their structures, kind of like pillagers. Yeah, this is so much better. He also added 3 temple designs, which turned out beautifully. One featuring a quaint and almost cozy interior, one with a more open concept, and one that's larger and more intricate. It's got end crystals and this little area up top. I like standing up here because it feels like I'm not supposed to be here. Ladies and gentlemen, we've done it. We added a new biome that respects Mojang's original vision. Have I gone Super Saiyan? No. But I got some hair on my upper lip and I'm proud of how far we've come. Even in my extremely short modding career, I just learned so much about the game. Minecraft is so beautiful, and it's surreal being able to look at clay or a tree or something and just knowing how it all works. My goal when I started this channel was to inspire others to make their own Minecraft creations, and I hope this shows that literally anyone can do this. You'll never quote-unquote know how to code, so don't let that stop you. Just learn the absolute basics, and then you gotta jump into a project, even if you don't feel ready. You'll get stuck, you'll get frustrated, but eventually you'll get through it, as long as you never give up. In my opinion, the end update video is the second best video in the series. I really wanted to level up my coding abilities by switching to modding, and in my opinion, I had reached the apex of what Minecraft data packs could do, and I really started to feel limited by them. I always say that limitations drive creativity, but I felt like I was constantly brushing up against their limitations. Custom blocks, for example, in data packs use item frames with custom textured items inside, and then they use glass blocks on the inside for collision, and you have to clean all of that up when someone mines it, and you gotta consider silk touch as well. It's just such a mess. People don't realize it, but at a certain point, data packs actually become more difficult than just writing an actual mod, because developers try squeezing as much out of them as possible to try to make them do things that they were never intended to do. One of the things that surprised me on rewatch was how extreme the Cop and Joe glazing was. It's deserved, don't get me wrong. He is the gateway into Minecraft modding for pretty much everyone. I can't overstate how much of an impact this guy has had on the Minecraft community, so it's definitely deserved. Overall, love the video, A tier. Who built Minecraft's end cities? Most people say it was Enderman, but I'm not convinced. That's why in just 7 days, I'm gonna code the ultimate end update to answer Minecraft's greatest mystery. It's day 1, so here's the game plan. I'm gonna program a shadowy race of aliens that live in a magic library to protect a secret so powerful, it'll change Minecraft forever. But first, I investigated the end cities and I made some discoveries. End cities use materials from every dimension, meaning their architects were masters of interdimensional travel. And unlike Endermen who pick up and place down blocks randomly, whoever built the end cities were organized and highly intelligent. In fact, I think they were the same people who built the end portal and the stronghold, possibly ancient villagers from the plains regions who evolved into Minecraft's supreme faction after enduring centuries in the end. Please entertain my mental gymnastics. I just needed an excuse to use oak in this build. There's not a lot of blocks that look good with endstone. This build is already bonkers. Already, it's bigger than anything I've ever built. Next, we need a ceiling. I took some inspiration from Grian's Hermitcraft base in Season 8 and did a similar black stained glass and end rod trick to simulate a starry night sky. People complain all the time about how bad structures are in Minecraft, and I think what people miss is that they're supposed to be simple. If you spawn into a Minecraft world and before even punching wood, you see a masterpiece of art made by a professional Minecraft builder, it would just be a little bit demotivating because there's no way that you could compete with it. But by the time you see the structure, you would have been to every dimension, beat the final boss, raided multiple end cities. Ideally, this is going to be the absolute last step in Minecraft's progression. The goal here is to usher the player into the post-game, maybe humble them a bit, give them something to strive for, and inspire them with a few somewhat advanced building techniques. I want the end library to be a playful challenge to the player. For the first time, you see what is truly possible. And now, it's your turn. Well, I gave myself goosebumps. I'm off to bed. See you guys tomorrow. Welcome to day 2, and to stay on schedule, we gotta finish the outside today. Since I have a nasty habit of building from the inside out, we got a lot of work to do. But first, I realized I made a tremendous miscalculation. We need to save our build into a structure block before we can make it spawn naturally. This is the absolute biggest structure we can save. Son of a... Luckily, I'm a literal Jigsaw wizard, so we can save our library into tiny pieces and make the game build our mega library on the fly. I've done this a million times, although what was once intellectually stimulating has become pure torture. And apparently, I'm still not even that good at it, because when I loaded into a world, my structure was totally broken. I looked through every single structure block and configuration file for hours, dumbfounded as to why it wasn't working. In an act of total desperation, I made giant numbers in each corner to better understand what was actually happening. And oh, corner number 2 is somehow way over there. This jigsaw was connecting to that jigsaw incorrectly. Once I figured out the problem, I fixed it in like 2 seconds. But searching for this one silly mistake ate up most of my time for today, and I'm feeling pretty frustrated, especially since I only have myself to blame. It's day 3, and we are way behind schedule, but I woke up with a crazy idea. An idea so absurd, it would get me out of having to make an exterior at all. What if the reason we can't find the end city architects is because they were hiding in plain sight? What if they discovered a technique to bend the very light around their library, thus blending in with the void, making the biggest structure in all of Minecraft invisible to the naked eye, except from the bottom, where if you look at it from the right angle, it'll look like a giant rift in the fabric of space and time. Of all my ideas, this is the best, biggest, and most disgusting overestimation of my abilities. I spent probably 12 hours looking into this and I got nowhere. I found a mod called Literal Block of Sky that does exactly the same thing. I looked through the code and yeah, there was no way I was going to figure out custom shader rendering in one sitting. And frankly, I should have known better. I feel embarrassed that I even tried. As much as I just wanted to quit, I'm gonna see it through to the end. It's day 4, and for the sake of my sanity, I need to do something else. So I started modeling the Voidling, Minecraft's supreme faction that dominates every dimension from the shadows, a race closer to gods than man that have perfected the arts of toolsmithing and enchanting, and of course, are master aviators. The Wandering Merchant also has good vibes, so I took some inspiration from him as well. As you can see, they're a blend of villagers and endermen. I'd like to think that the ancient plains villagers that created the stronghold came to the end, saw an enderman for the first time, and was like,
Oh my god, those legs go on for miles.
I made a few basic animations, and I got the Voidlings into the game without any issue. You know, things got pretty dark yesterday, and honestly, I needed this morale boost. And you'll notice that I figured out how to get the mob's eyes to glow. In my last video, I just could not get that working for the life of me, but this absolute goat named CPH101 downloaded my mod, came to my Discord server, and pointed out the flaw in my coding. People like this are why I love this community. There's so many smart and talented people. A lot of you guys join my Discord and show off these insane creations, some of which aren't even Minecraft related, but the fact that I see all of you constantly getting better at your craft is inspirational to me. Anyway, I spent a bit more time fleshing out the Voidling, and in my mind, they're a bunch of wimpy scholars, not warriors, so I made them afraid of confrontation. Next, I gave them sounds. I remixed the coos of a pigeon, and I got this. Finally, I gave them custom trades. Pop quiz, what is the most valuable resource in all of Minecraft? If you said netherite, you're wrong. It's your time. It is the only thing that you can never replenish. My goal is to create trades that reduce the tedium of Minecraft and help players get their hands on obscure or difficult to obtain blocks. Player economies are great with this. People trade diamonds for resources all the time. So basically, I'm gonna simulate what it's like having friends. That sounded way more depressing. If you've ever built an automated pumpkin farm, emeralds become basically meaningless. In fact, it's totally possible for the average player to build a house out of emerald blocks. And because these trades are going to be insane, Voidlings will only deal in diamonds. Level 1 will give exclusively max level enchantments. Level 2 will give you enderite tools and armor, which are even better than netherite. Levels 3 and 4 will offer a huge selection of completely random and difficult to obtain blocks. Again, Voidlings can travel to any dimension, so it makes sense that they have access to pretty much everything. And level 5 will give you something absolutely nuts. Hopefully, if tomorrow goes according to plan. I haven't coded it yet. You probably noticed these mustard-colored looking books over here. Well, these are Enlightenment Tomes, a new villager workstation. So you can take these home and give your villagers the Void Master profession with all of the same trades. They are looking so fly. Those glasses kill me. It's day 5, and after the fumbles of days 2 and 3, there is zero margin for error. Which isn't great because I've never made a custom enchantment or a custom item, and we're doing both of those today. Done. That was actually pretty easy. The elytra is the coolest item in all of Minecraft, and I feel like it deserves more enchantments than just mending and unbreaking. So I coded Boost, which is like infinity, but for the elytra. When you press R on your keyboard, you get a little boost. When you hold it, you get a bigger boost. If you hold it for a really long time, you get a mega boost and break the sound barrier. Next, I coded the Void Compass, and as many of you have pointed out in my last video, yes, I'm 28, basically already 30, my life on this earth is dwindling, and I can't afford to spend what little time I have left walking back and forth in Minecraft. So I coded a Void Compass. You'll notice it has no needle. That's because you attach it to a lodestone and then right-click to teleport to it. It even works across dimensions. It's certainly powerful, and maybe it's just an age thing, but I feel like something like this would help me enjoy the game a lot more. And to balance it a bit, you can only get these from a maxed out level Void Master, making it the absolute final reward that a player would get in terms of progression. It's day 6, I've licked my wounds, I've focused on what I'm good at, and now I'm ready to redeem myself. I reflected on my past mistakes, and I realize now, I did everything possible to avoid making an exterior. It's by far my biggest weakness as a builder, but sometimes you have to face your fears head on. I sat laser focused, remembering every design principle I learned from studying the end cities on day 1. And this is by far the biggest and best thing I have ever built. I am completely exhausted, but this is worth it. It's our final day, and for the first time ever since I started making these videos, I have time left over. I want this library to feel even more magical, so I spent the day coding flying books, and it takes this build to the next level. Being able to do this was a childhood dream, and as you can tell by my glacial upload pace, these videos are a ton of work, but I love making them more than literally anything else in the world. This video feels a lot different than my other updates because it was the first time I ever worked with a video editor, who did a phenomenal job, by the way. He's just objectively a better video editor than I am, but it feels different because a lot of my creative process happens on the timeline during editing. I typically edit in vertical slices. I will edit 15 seconds, and then I think about what needs to happen in the next 15 seconds to keep the video interesting. This is terribly inefficient, and it's why my videos take so long to make. Plus, I think people aren't really enjoying this style of editing anymore. YouTube is constantly evolving, and I've noticed that a lot of my homepage recommendations are between 20 minutes to an hour. The longer form content tends to be a bit more authentic in my opinion, and in an age where there's more and more AI slop being shoveled onto YouTube, I think the creators who lean into their humanity will see the most success. Anyway, I think the update idea is cool, the execution was decent. I'm putting this in B tier. I'm going to code the ultimate Desert Temple update in just 7 days, transforming it from this to a giant labyrinth filled with traps, new game mechanics, and an ancient sword with devastating power. Surely I didn't bite off more than I could chew again. Here's the game plan. I want the new Desert Temple to have a pit that drops into a procedurally generating vertical dungeon like End Cities, but flipped upside down and underground. So let's build the first room. Every temple will drop you into this old bathhouse water. Kinda gross, but better than falling to your death, I suppose. I feel like it's missing something, like ancient pottery. After 15 minutes, I made 3 pot designs that I effortlessly coded into the game. Why are my pots laying eggs? Yeah, okay, so I had some trouble. First, I made the pots out of baby slimes, but then they would disappear when you play in peaceful mode, and I made them out of baby pigs, but loot tables don't work with baby animals, so now I'm using chickens, and all my pots are laying eggs everywhere. So I coded up a band-aid solution, and it works pretty good. But even though they're different than the way Mojang made it, I think these are still pretty cool, since you can break them. This is the loot that I got after breaking 50 pots, and you'll notice something pretty strange. New lore, baby. Aliens built the Desert Temple, confirmed. Anyway, let's build more rooms. This one, as you can see, is pretty simple. Just a couple of platforms, a little parkour jump that I actually somehow missed. And then you got these chests over here, and all they contain is a simple note. Nice. So this next room doesn't have any crazy trap shenanigans or anything, but it does have something very controversial. Don't worry, it doesn't drop any shulker shells, but these guys are awesome in vertical environments, so I bet they're gonna be great here too. Hopefully, because I put them literally everywhere in this room, and if I'm wrong about this being fun, this room's gonna be terrible. That was a strong day 1, but I want an even stronger day 2 by making the treasure room. The room that will hold the Sandstorm sword. Of course I could just put the sword in a chest, but no, I gotta be fancy. And you know what? It was worth it. Now you can't just pull it out. What are you, King freaking Arthur? No, you need to solve a puzzle. And that's where the next room comes in. See, I got ChatGPT to write a 3-page poem. The first page tells you about the Ankh, a new item in this data pack. The second page tells you about how you can trade it for the power of sand. And the final page tells you that you're basically screwed because as soon as you flip to it, you get locked into a room that floods with lava that I effortlessly redstoned into the game. What the fuck? On my first try, nonetheless. So this next room has a standard parkour and some spawners that spawn mummies. Now you're probably wondering how you get the Ankhs. Well, you gotta kill a bunch of mummies to get Ankh shards. Then you combine 9 of them to get an Ankh. These function exactly like a totem of undying, but they give you resistance when held in your offhand and rejuvenation when held in your main hand. Day 2 was heavily focused on coding and redstone, but I want to spend the 3rd day building more rooms. And you know what? I really found my stride because these are the best rooms that I've built so far. So here I have another very vertical room. The player can jump into the middle here and try to get to the top section, but let's say they drop down here because they mess up the parkour. If they come all the way over here, they have the chance of getting some more loot. And you have a way of climbing back up and retrying the parkour. You can get to the top level here where you can again get some additional loot. And there's 2 bridges that connect other rooms, as well as a room on top. This next room is by far my favorite room in the entire data pack, not because it relies on any crazy gimmick or anything, it's just so interconnected and confusing and claustrophobic. It's just really fun to explore, and it's so different than every other room in this data pack. I love it. I built one more room today, which presents an interesting choice. So you can come in, try to jump across these pads, and then you can open the chest and then grab whatever loot that you see here. Now, of course, making this jump is a little bit dangerous. You have the option, however, of shooting this wooden button up here with a bow, and when you do, it activates a bridge, but you gotta run here really fast because as soon as you do, your loot is gonna start draining out, so you gotta quickly grab whatever you can before it drains into the lava beneath. It's already day 4 and we haven't even built the surface level structure. Since there's no way I can do this on my own in time, I need to call in help from the greatest builder I have ever known. You're the man, Zeppelington. While he works on that, I want to spice things up by adding more interesting loot. So in addition to whatever you can find in the normal desert temple, you can now find Dune Strider boots. They have the defense stats of iron boots, but their durability of leather boots. They also give you a speed boost when you walk on any variant of sand, including soul sand. Also, I wasn't kidding when I said that aliens helped build the desert temple. So I think it makes sense that players can now find the Deep Dark Explorer map, which will lead to an ancient city. And finally, by far the most important item in this data pack, the item that makes this dungeon actually fun is the Potion of Safe Passage. This potion can be found in barrels, and I designed the dungeon so that they are abundant and almost always within arm's reach. When consumed, they give you 10 seconds of levitation. You can either wait until the 10 seconds are up, or press shift to cancel the levitation and gain 34 real-life days of slow falling, or slow falling until you touch the ground next, whichever comes first. That's enough coding. It is officially crunch time. So let's pick up the pace. I woke up at the butt crack of dawn and I built all day. Before today, we only had 10 rooms and we need so much more to make this not feel repetitive, especially since these are the rooms that are going to glue together the larger ones and actually give the underground structure its shape. After 12 hours, I built a grand total of 33 additional rooms. Nice. Now obviously it would take too long to go through every single one, so let me just show you some of the highlights. For example, this room, which unfortunately doesn't work due to a bug. You're supposed to come over here, and then everything is fine, completely safe. It's lit up with these redstone torches. You open the chest, it triggers a skulk sensor, and then 3 mummies will drop behind you. So I'm gonna play the long game and keep this trapped in the desert temple because presumably someday it's gonna randomly start working and it'll catch some people off guard. And then we have this room, which obviously is an homage to the original desert temple. Y'all know what's gonna happen if you step on that pressure plate. And then down here we have another claustrophobic room with a bunch of different areas to explore, a little interesting line of sight, some loot over there, and a barrel over here. And then over here you got some innocent looking diamonds, but if you mine them, you blow up. I made a couple normal hallways. Some of them have arrow traps, which I will admit isn't super difficult. Oh, that one hit me. It's pretty easy to avoid. This room's a little bit weird and different, so there's some spikes at the bottom. I originally wanted it to be lava, but the whole room started catching on fire. You know how it is. And then there's this room, which is kind of goofy. So you know how there's these banners just all over the place around this temple? Well, I figure somebody has to be making this. So this is kind of the station where the poor worker would be stored away and forced to, you know, take the raw material and sit at their little yellow dye workstation and just make these banners day in and day out. Kind of a sad existence, but maybe they liked it, hopefully. Now obviously these ancient desert people were very advanced. They knew their way around redstone. Not perfect, they knew some basic things, but then here with slime they're trying to experiment and Oh, this wasn't gonna go anywhere. Yes, so if you look around and see redstone that's terrible, then it's just part of the lore. It was on purpose, I tell you. Speaking of art, our friend Zeppelington just got back to us, and what he made is nothing less than incredible. I mean, just look at this place. The attention to detail, the shading on the floor with the terracotta, and the arrangement over here with the colored candles. The way that he uses just blocks in general, it's so creative, and I would never even think that combinations like this would be possible. And the throne looks great as well. Zeppelington just really put me to shame here. I mean, this is incredible. And then every single corner has these observation towers that you can climb up and look out into the desert. Now, if you guys haven't already heard, scientists found a secret void in the Great Pyramids around 2017, and they're not sure what's in there, but Zeppelington decided to do the same thing and included a burial chamber for the pharaoh. This is such a cool idea. I love it. And as you can see, it is protected by gold. It even has the little pharaoh head there. And then it's got whatever objects were on his person at the time. I did make one tiny adjustment, which was including this barrel here with a bunch of potions of safe passage. I figure it would be nice to have a safe place for people to experiment with this new potion in a place where, you know, obviously it's just not that dangerous. And then when they're ready, they can jump down into that pit below and then enter the dungeon that we've been making for this entire video. It's day 6, which I spent most of my time doing the coding for the sword. Now when you hold the Ankh and approach the pedestal, the sword will begin to glimmer, and then when you throw it on the ground, this sequence will play out. Anyway, once you get the sword, you'll see that it does as much damage as a diamond sword, but with slightly faster attack speed. And when you right click, you summon a flying sand block that orbits around you. Also, there's no limit to how many you can summon. Look, I made a perfect circle in Minecraft without even trying. You just know there's a Mysticat somewhere trembling like a leaf. Now, you will also notice that the sand doesn't do any damage when it collides with entities. That's because it's inactive right now. If we press shift, then it begins to swarm the nearest enemies. Look at how terrifying that is! I feel so powerful. I'm about to wipe out this village. Get him! The power! The power! Oh! Believe me, this is as fun as it looks. I'm gonna spend the rest of the day messing with these jigsaw blocks, which basically tells the structure how to spawn during world generation. So I want each jigsaw block in a large room to connect to one of these rooms. It's the dawn of the final day, and now comes the fun part. Playtesting. So unlike the previous desert temple that I just pasted into the world, this is actually naturally spawning in the world, and it looks like it blends in with the terrain so well. This is a really encouraging sight already. The biggest thing that I'm worried about, however, is did the rest of the dungeon actually generate? Oh, it works! You have no idea how good this feels. Look at how nicely this area just fit together. I feel like all the colors work well. The lava at the bottom there. I mean, whew. Don't want to pat myself on the back too much, but wow. Oh, there's a lot of shulkers down there. Ah, I'm stuck on this ceiling. No. No. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, God. Enchanted golden apple, save me. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, that was so close. Okay, I will admit there's so many shulkers here. I don't know. I don't know if this is a good thing. Okay, I didn't want to say it. This is terrible. What was I thinking? God, let me down. So not fun. So I think that means we have to kill them all. I felt bad about killing all of them, so I kept one and I named him Kevin. The pyramid video holds a very special place in my heart. At this point, I was getting more serious about YouTube, so I finally upgraded from my 8-year-old budget PC build to a top-of-the-line computer. And I was cringing as I was buying PC parts. But this video was the first video that I made using that new PC, and it made me twice as much money as what I spent on the computer. I immediately doubled my investment, and I got to walk away with a great gaming computer. Around this time, I saw people like Dr. Rat pop off with his Splash videos and Low-Res Bones with his Minecraft trailer videos, and I was praying that something like that would happen to me, and this was my big break. I so clearly remember calling my parents and telling them about how this video was doing, and I was so happy, and they were really surprised because up until this point, I had actually kept my YouTube channel a secret from everyone in my life. But now that I was seeing some success with this video, I felt a lot more comfortable being open about the things that I was working on. My friends were really surprised. They were like, you never even talk about Minecraft. I didn't even realize you play this game. I love this video. I love this data pack. I'll put it in A tier. In just 7 days, I'm gonna code the ultimate Minecraft update, coding magic into the game, adding a towering wizard castle, deadly new golems, fantastical blocks, mystical rewards, and a feature I've wanted in Minecraft for like 10 years now. Hidden deep within Minecraft's code, there are hints that Mojang considered a magic update at one point. I'm gonna use the clues they left behind to show you what that update could have been. It's day 1, and for some inspiration, I typed /summon illusioner. Now, I didn't code this magic man. He is a fully fleshed out wizard-like mob made by Mojang that was never implemented for some reason. The illusioner uses visual magic to dazzle his enemies, and then he'll shoot you with an arrow. Overall, I love the direction, and just like Mojang, I want my update to focus on visual magic. Starting with the #1 feature I've always wanted, colored lighting. Boom, I got that working in like 2 seconds. Now, before you start typing, this is proof Mojang developers only work 5 minutes a week. I used a library called Shimmer for this. Mojang would have to rewrite a huge chunk of their lighting engine, which would be way more difficult. But between the vibrant visual graphics upgrade that we're getting and copper lighting that was recently announced, I think we'll actually see colored lighting, true colored lighting, at some point. And I cannot express how much of a difference this would make. You can use light to convey temperature or totally change the mood of a build. For example, here's a giant pile of gold. I added some yellow lights to it, and suddenly your treasure becomes radiant. And look at how much hotter this boiler room appears with red lighting. I put red lights behind the campfires, and it just makes a huge difference. Or you could use white lights if you're building an office to really capture the cold and sterile environment, bereft of joy where you trade the best years of your life for a modest wage. Originally, I had 16 different lanterns, but I decided to combine all of them into one new block, the Borealis Lantern. You can right-click it and it'll cycle through Minecraft's standard 16 color codes. Now you're probably thinking, well, geez, if I want to put down a bunch of red lanterns, then I'll have to right-click this thing a million times. But I coded a feature that remembers the last light color the player selected, so it's very intuitive and easy to use. And I could not believe how quickly this all came together. Looking back at how I struggled on my end update video, there's no way I could have done this just a few months ago. And that gave me the confidence to add something really ambitious. Mojang loves music, even adding a few mobs that dance when they hear a song. I could totally see them adding a light source that responds to music. I mean, come on, this is amazing. It's day 2, and I wish we had more window options in Minecraft. I never liked Minecraft stained glass. Right now, I'm in the village church, and I don't feel very holy. This yellow glass pane, it makes me want to sin. I spent the morning scrolling through Reddit for inspiration, and then I found this post by Shells124. She made the most beautiful stained glass windows I had ever seen, which gave me the idea. What if you made a block that did this automatically? So I made Borealis glass. Now this is stained glass. It's a lot more opaque and it has a more complicated design. It actually glows slightly, but most importantly, depending on where it exists in the world, it'll change colors, making an automatic smooth gradient. I know when I first started playing Minecraft, it never even occurred to me to make a gradient. I like this block since it is just beginner friendly and stupidly easy to use. It teaches players a more advanced building technique, and no matter how you use it, it'll basically always look good. It's day 3 and I'm sick of coding. So I started thinking about where I wanted to put the wizard castle. I settled on the tundra, Minecraft's most neglected biome. I love the vibes from Skyrim's College of Winterhold, and also Hogwarts during the first 2 Harry Potter movies during the wintertime. Happy Christmas, Harry. Happy Christmas, Ron. Chicken noodle soup for the soul, man. I began building a giant Gothic cathedral. Unfortunately, I have been putting all of my skill points into Minecraft coding leaving my building skill tree a bit neglected. After a few hours of building, I started to panic, thinking this might have been a bit too ambitious. Not only that, but I think the Gothic architectural style, while it's very pretty to look at, it's just not going to be fun to play through. It's got a lot of open vertical space, and most of the explorable area is very flat. I tried making a second floor, possibly for a boss if I ever did a part 2 for this video, but it looked kinda gay. And I mean that in the literal sense because there's a bunch of rainbow dongs everywhere. This just wasn't working out, so I decided to cut my losses and restart. This time, I started with a bunch of cubes. The idea is that each room will stack on top of each other, making a giant vertical parkour labyrinth where you'll have to alternate between indoor and outdoor sections. I want this to look like a chaotic patchwork build that just sort of happened. The magic men inside were so busy doing their whiz-biz, they couldn't be bothered to hire actual builders. This was a lot more in my comfort zone. It allowed me to focus more on the gameplay and interior decorating, which I find easier and more fun. I added a bunch of hidden passages and jumps that you can perform to get more loot, and if you're really perceptive, you could even find shortcuts to make your parkour easier. I also added holes in some of the rooms, so depending on how they connect, you could fall down into the room below, or if you were curious and wanted to see what awaited you ahead, you could look up, and it just makes everything feel so interconnected. Hands down, this was my best design gameplay-wise, but I made the mistake of using quartz, which looks really bad with the colored lighting, unfortunately. The colors just get completely blown out. Plus, Mojang is really good about only using the resources found in the biome when they build. Quartz can only be found in the Nether, which is literally the farthest thing possible from the tundra. What was I thinking? It's the end of day 3, and I was eager to see what the final structure looked like. So I stacked all my cubes, popped in a record, and admired the fruits of my labor. And that was the exact moment where Miss Whimzee walked into my office.
Aren't wizard towers supposed to be round? This doesn't meet YouTube standards. You should get your friend Zeppelington to build it for you. He's a way better builder.
It's day 4, and unless I build something epic, my girlfriend will leave me for Zeppelington. I get it. Even though the colored lighting is doing a ton of heavy lifting, it's not enough. Okay, let me turn off the colored lighting. Yeah. Mojang's builds are generally simple and inoffensive. If they existed in real life, they probably wouldn't tank the property value of the entire neighborhood. While I do think the inside of my build is amazing and genuinely really fun to jump through, the outside has all the charm of a nuclear cooling tower covered in Christmas lights. I restarted for the final time, I swear, and I went with a more classic wizard design, focusing more on the rounded towers and tall coned roofs. At first, I only focused on the shape, making the entire thing out of stone. It turns out this was a pretty good crutch. I have a hard time building in Minecraft, it just doesn't come naturally to me, but this genuinely made a huge difference. This time, I made the wizard castle out of materials that you can find in the overworld, covered it in lanterns, and I used the glass for windows a bit more sparingly. However, I made the entire roof out of borealis glass to show off this amazing color gradient. Remember, this roof is only one block. It's the block itself that's making this beautiful gradient. I added a simplistic Gothic rose window on the front of the build, and finally, I think we got a decent wizard castle. I'm pretty happy with how this is looking. So I rewarded myself spending the rest of the day interior decorating. This is literally my favorite thing to do in Minecraft. In one of the towers, I built what is basically Finn and Jake's treasure room from the treehouse in Adventure Time. It's got a treasure chest with a very special item, which we'll get to later because I have not even coded it yet. I also made a potion room full of witches, which I always felt like potions weren't real magic, but I guess they do have a potions class at Hogwarts, so who am I to say? And finally, we have a library room full of chests. I spammed a ton of paintings up here as a nod to one of my favorite mods of all time, the Twilight Forest. There was a castle where you had to fight the Lich, and in the boss room, there were paintings everywhere. It was one of the first mods I ever played, and it just completely blew me away. I wrapped up day 4 by filling the base of the build with some parkour. To be a great wizard, you must have patience. And what better way to test your patience than with some Minecraft parkour? I added some evil fake platforms, a bit of non-linear level design where you have to use the slime block on the lower levels to advance, this wall of spiderwebs that you have to walk through slowly. It's surprisingly really easy to get complacent and not let go of the walk key in time and just run off the cliff. And of course, I put the hardest jumps at the very end to make your hands extra sweaty. If you can overcome this wizard trial, then you are truly worthy of the magical riches that lie ahead. If you like what you see so far and you want to play this mod, it is completely free on my Patreon. And of course, if you want to donate, it really helps the channel. It's day 5, and I know what you're thinking. Why not just pillar up and skip all this nonsense? Well, I'm gonna create a magic item that makes that impossible. I spent the morning modeling a crystal ball, wrote some code, and got it into the game pretty easily. As you can see, it glows slightly and it swirls with magical enchanted particles, and it'll emanate a magical force field that engulfs the entire wizard castle. I love how the force field looks. It just looks so beautiful and magical on the horizon. I mean, you get excited walking up to this thing. When you enter the force field, you immediately get mining fatigue and a new debuff called arthritis, which makes your hands frail and elderly, thus taking away your ability to place blocks. You could try using your elytra to fly to the top. However, when you have arthritis, you are unable to open doors. Now, I debated taking away your ability to ender pearl, but I decided to make an exception. Minecraft is a game about choice, and if you find parkour annoying or you get stuck for hours, well, I wanted to give players a way to skip it. Being prepared is a trait of a good wizard, so in my opinion, even if you need the extra help, you're just as magical as everyone else. When you complete the course, you will come face to face with a crystal ball, thus dispelling the force field, curing your arthritis, and allowing you to build freely. Of course, I love having more clutter to decorate my Minecraft base with, so the player gets to keep the crystal ball as a reward. But creating a giant magical force field is far too powerful in the hands of a player. So when you break it once, the crystal ball can never again make a force field. Instead, in the hands of the player, I wanted the crystal ball to be an enhancement to the enchantment station. You know how when you enchant something, you can only see the first enchantment, but you have a chance to receive multiple enchantments? Imagine if the crystal ball showed every enchantment you would get, like you're peering into the future. Yeah, I couldn't figure that out. Turns out that's pretty hard. So instead, I made the crystal ball double the enchantability of nearby enchantment tables, thus giving the player way better enchantments. Yeah, nope, never mind, couldn't figure that out either. So now you right-click the ball and it reveals the position of nearby enemies. Limitations drive creativity, and more often than not, it pushes me in a direction where the end product is even better. But not this time. Not this time. It's day 6 and I wanted to add a new mob. The wizard castle will have illusioners, witches, and evokers. What do all these mobs have in common? They all use projectiles. It's a bit much. So I started making a new mob called the Enchanted Knight, which is basically a suit of armor brought to life by sentient experience orbs. It's a dumb, lumbering brute, extremely slow, but it has a ton of health and it hits like a truck. The more I thought about it, the more I realized I was basically just making a golem. So I renamed it to the Obsidian Golem, and I decided to take away the giant sword, which pained me greatly because it was epic, but now it feels a lot more Minecrafty. I went to draw a creeper face on the back of my cape, but my crappy overpriced Logitech mouse was double clicking all day, making the process take way longer than it should have. As the kids would say, I had a crash out and I scribbled all over my cape. I accidentally drew this sick pixel art of an alien holding a bell. Abstract expressionism is the lowest art form, even worse than AI slop in my opinion. But this was spontaneous. I let emotion overtake me and created this bold statement about consumerism and the transience of material possessions. We live in a society. I decided to keep the design, added a bit of shading, and my model was complete. I did some basic animations, taking some inspiration from the Iron Golem, I particularly like the attack animation and how it uses the momentum of his limbs to crush his foes. I coded him into the game and gave him a special ability. Every time he hits you, he steals a random enchantment from your armor, storing it as a book in his inventory. I thought it would be cool to make his stomach cavity into a bookshelf that fills with books as he steals your enchantments, but that little detail would be complicated to code, and I still have a bunch of other cool things that I want to add, so just use your imagination, I guess. At any one time, he can only hold up to 10 books, and any additional books will fall on the ground, which means you can capture an obsidian golem and create a farm that strips away all the useful enchantments off the random armor you find around the world. After all, confining living things into a tiny box to make your life marginally more convenient is what Minecraft is all about. And finally, since this golem is filled with experience orbs, the killing blow will cause an explosion of experience, launching experience all over the room, and of course, dropping every book in its inventory. It's day 7, and I have an amazing idea for an item. I can't wait to show you guys. Honestly, this is the most fun I have ever had making a Minecraft update. Do you guys want a part 2 for this video? Or would you rather have me code something completely new for my next update? Let me know in the comments. At the very top of the tower, the player will find the Borealis crystals, and just like Borealis glass, depending on where in the world they exist, they will be a different color. When you just look at one of them, it looks kinda ugly, I'm not gonna lie, but in big clusters, I think they're very pretty. If you break a Borealis cluster, you get magic rock candy, which is edible. It's not the best food source, but I think it's a fun novelty, kinda like cookies. Mojang has a history of putting things into the game that are pretty much useless, such as copper, and then eventually going back and adding more functionality in future updates. I think magic rock candy in a future Minecraft magic update could serve as ammo for magic weapons, kinda like arrows for the bow. But for now, all you can do with the magic rock candy is craft Borealis blocks, and unlike Amethyst, the craftable blocks will continuously grow into more clusters, and you can move those clusters with pistons, so they're very easy to farm. The magic rock candy can be used to craft the Borealis windows, and it also lets you brew luck potions. Yet another cool thing Mojang coded that is unused for whatever reason, but when you drink it and you open a chest, you'll find better loot. It's simple, but it's pretty cool. Finally, I knew I wanted to add a custom totem. This is the magic item that I was going on about. The Totem of Undying is the most iconic magic item we have in Minecraft. So what about a totem for our pets? Imagine your beloved Minecraft pet died and you went on a purpose-filled mission, braving the bitterly cold tundra just to see your best friend again. When they cross that rainbow bridge, they're with us forever in our hearts. Or in this case, a variable stored in the player. You can right-click the fancy new pet totem I made, the heavens open up, the angels sing, and our best friends come back to Earth. Same color, same name, and you saw how it kind of jumped back a little bit when it respawned? Well, it even has the same momentum from being hit with my sword. This is your pet brought back to Earth, just as they were before they met their untimely demise. And with that, the magic update is complete. It wasn't easy. I made a lot of mistakes, but seeing the shimmering splendor of the Illusioner's wizard castle as the sun sets on the untamed frozen expanse, it made me realize it was all worth it. I don't have a ton to say about this one. I feel like my biggest mistake was straying too far from the original vision of the series. Normally, I try focusing on things that are in the game that's just outdated or neglected, and then I try to modernize it. This time, I tried to add something completely new and probably focused too much on technical features. I also pushed myself outside of my comfort zone, building on a scale that I'm not really comfortable with, and I think I still landed on something pretty cool. This update was fine. I'm gonna put it in B tier. In just 7 days, I'm gonna code the ultimate deep dark dimension, because we all know exactly what this is. So here's the game plan. Since the warden is typically the head of a prison, I'm going to code an endless prison dimension, a labyrinth filled with epic loot, lost technology, and unimaginable horrors. But there's a catch. The key to lighting the portal is locked away in the prison itself. So how do you get there in the first place? Same way all the other mobs do. Death. Skulk catalysts turn bodies into skulk, but what happens to the soul? I say they're trapped in the Warden's domain, a super maximum security prison under the Warden's lock and key. On death, players spawn in this nightmare dimension as shades, forced to start from scratch in a hostile world with one goal: escape. It's day 1, and eventually I want the player to light this portal so they can come and go as they please. And luckily, it was pretty easy getting this to work. Not only that, but I managed to create an entire new dimension. Now, this is looking pretty basic. This is what the overworld would look like if it were 100% deep dark. It's a decent start, but I think we can do better. So I went to some website to help me visualize terrain generation, and I'm gonna be real with you guys, I have no idea what any of this means. Pretty sure 80% of the file that I generated doesn't even do anything. Though, through trial and error, I made some pretty funky looking worlds. But the end result is a dimension similar to the Nether, except there's no floor. It's just an open void beneath, perfect for an infinite dungeon. It's day 2, and basically I need to force the game to do something it doesn't want to do. There's a ton of rules and limitations around structure size, but a year ago, I think I accidentally found a way to get around all of it. I tried making 1,000,000 houses to beat some obscure world record and dab on a random British guy. It's a long story, it's not important, but basically I accidentally made this abomination. One single mega house that stretches in all directions forever. And I'm pretty sure with some clever tweaks and the appropriate spacing, I can trick the game into making an endless mega dungeon. Now, I thought this was going to be a cakewalk. It was not, because I loaded into a world and was like, what the hell? Instead of spawning my structures, these balls of rock were appearing instead. I wasted 6 hours before asking my friends Code Neon and Dr. Trog to help. Apparently, someone at Mojang decided now's the time to rename the structures folder to structure. Like, what? I've been doing this since 1.16 and I've never seen Mojang do this. It physically hurts me to think about this, but my accomplishments for today boil down to me deleting a single character. That's embarrassing. It's day 3, and yeah, I got my test structure working, but it's still pretty bland. Everything spawns in a grid, so we'll have to vary the tile size to basically trick the brain into forgetting that we're walking around a bunch of squares. I made a few narrow maze tiles to make the prison feel like this claustrophobic labyrinth. This is a dimension for players who want a true challenge, so it should feel confusing and overwhelming. I am designing this purposefully so that it's really easy to get lost. I'm copying and pasting elements from different builds, and while it's varied enough to be interesting, everything will look familiar all the time. Imagine the panic you'd feel once you realize you can't remember the way back to the portal. This is your life now. You will be here forever. I also made several cages where the warden keeps his unfortunate souls. This is a prison after all. I looked at the ancient city for more inspiration. I built a few more wall-like structures, but also various towers that'll dot the landscape to give the height some more variation. Finally, I built a few mega towers full of trial chamber spawners and treasure. The trial chambers really scratched my dungeon crawling itch. I just wish there was more stuff like this in Minecraft. Mojang put a ton of work into the new trial chamber spawners and vault blocks, and it shows. I personally think it would be cool to see them introduce even more structures that use them. In my opinion, dungeon crawling and combat should be the main focus of the Deep Dark dimension once Mojang gets around to adding it. Anyway, I saved everything in the structures, and it turned out better than I could have ever dreamed of. After 3 cups of coffee and 10 hours of building, I made what I believe is the coolest thing I have ever built. I'm so proud of this, and yet we're not even close to being done. It's day 4, and it's time to add our first custom mob. This is the Warden's domain, so whatever I code needs to add to the Warden's scariness. Looking around the ancient city, we see dark oak structures that look pretty familiar. I'm guessing that some unfortunate pillagers found this place and got promptly destroyed by the Warden, which means they would end up in our prison dimension as a shade. It's so sad seeing Minecraft's most elite killing force reduced to the sorry state, but also, it's super entertaining watching them get chased down. Making a custom mob is probably one of the hardest parts about Minecraft modding. It's just super time consuming, there's a lot of steps, and even though this mob is pretty simple, it's all I really had time for today. At this point, I took a little break to watch my friend's hardcore Minecraft video, and then I realized that I made a huge mistake with the fundamental premise of my mod. You have to die to get to this dimension the first time, which locks out a huge chunk of the player base from this experience. People were upset that the recovery compass was useless for hardcore players. Imagine how upset they would be if they couldn't experience a new Minecraft dimension. In my opinion, this is something that Mojang doesn't get enough credit for. When they release a Minecraft update, it's difficult keeping everyone happy, and in a lot of ways, Minecraft is like 10 games wrapped in one. You have the PvPers, the Redstoners, the data pack creators, the SMPs, super flat survivalists, the list goes on, and frankly, I have no idea how Mojang does it. Anyway, it sucks, but my goal is to code everything exactly like Mojang would. So now, rather than dying by a skull catalyst and being transported to this dimension, you can just find an item in a chest that you can use to light the Ancient City portal. It's not as exciting, but honestly, I think this is probably the direction that Mojang would take it. It's day 5, and I'm going to code yet another custom mob, because despite having a giant pool of health and hitting like a truck, the Warden has one glaring weakness. It's blind. So we have the Blaze, we have the Breeze, and now we have the Blink, a terrifying eyeball monstrosity that watches over the Warden's prison dimension. And I'll say it, I'm probably the Michelangelo of animation.
This guy is such a tool bag.
We got the idle animation where all the eyeballs rotate around the main eye. It's almost like they're being juggled by this magic vortex in the middle. It's just really satisfying to watch. Next, we got the running animation where the eyeball monster tilts forward and the main eye looks towards its target. And finally, we got the shriek animation. Okay, maybe this is a bit much. When it sees a player, the main eyeball will rip open, revealing a mouthful of spiky teeth and shriek, triggering all the skulk sensors in a 32-block radius and probably summoning 100 wardens in the process, making the blink extremely dangerous, but the Warden is still the star of the show. As I would soon find out, all of this was much easier said than done, because never before in the history of this channel did I run into so many problems. I crashed my game so many times, Mojang started bullying me in the logs. My search code to find the skulk sensors was so inefficient that it would literally freeze my game for multiple seconds. And after I spent an hour rewriting the entire thing to make the algorithm more efficient, I couldn't figure out how to programmatically trigger the skulk sensor. So then, after doing all that work, I was forced to throw it in the trash and pivot. So I made the blink 10 times larger, and I made it fly around like a drone. This would be easy, I thought. I've made flying mobs before, I thought. Except, the blink kept getting violently sucked into the walls and dying immediately. And these were just the tip of the iceberg. It literally took me 6 hours of troubleshooting to work out all of the problems I ran into. Today was miserable, if I'm being honest, but on the bright side, limitations drive creativity. In fact, there hasn't been a single video where I haven't had to make a drastic pivot. Yeah, I ran into a ton of problems and got really frustrated, but what I ended up with, an eyeball monster the size of a building that drops the mobs that die in the overworld into the prison dimension, is pretty cool. I can't always figure out how to make everything exactly how I want, but more often than not, I'm usually happier with the final result because of it. It's day 6, and I need to make my custom mobs actually spawn. And remember when I said I was forcing the game to do something it doesn't want to do? Well, it started fighting back. The normal mob spawning logic completely broke down, basically making this new weather event. Anyway, while I stand in this catastrophe of my own making, I gotta get something off my chest that's been keeping me up at night. I made this series because I love Minecraft. It's the best sandbox ever made. I make these mods as a fun proof of concept for future Minecraft updates, not to dunk on the people who work hard on my all-time favorite game. And even though the Mojang is lazy sentiment has been around for a long time, before I even started my YouTube channel, I unintentionally exacerbated the problem, which I feel really bad about. Before YouTube, I worked as a software engineer for 5 years, and I can tell you, it's not easy. The coding is one thing, but it's a whole different ballgame when you're navigating through the red tape in a huge company with an established product. Would you guys be interested in a video about why Mojang isn't lazy? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, I fixed the problem, the spawning is working beautifully, and I'm really happy with how the mod is looking. It's the dawn of the final day, and I want to reward the player for visiting this nightmare dimension by letting them harness the power of the Warden in a vanilla-friendly way. You can capture Dragon's Breath and make lingering potions, and you can get the Wither to kill mobs to receive Wither Roses. Both of these are pretty mild. My initial thought was making a consumable item, kind of like a wind charge, that lets you use the Warden's Sonic Boom, but I wanted to challenge myself by coding a new redstone block. I call it the Subwoofer, which you can craft by wrapping a note block in echo shards. The premise is simple. give it redstone power, and it pushes the entities in front of it. The higher the redstone power, the further you go. It can range from being just enough to troll your friend in a parkour map by messing up their jump very slightly, or at its maximum, it can serve as an elytra launch station. If you wanted, you could even make a TNT cannon, or maybe an arrow shotgun. If you're clever, you can use this to make a ton of different traps, ranging from simple to absolutely diabolical. This is a stasis chamber where you could trap your enemies, keeping them suspended in midair. Now, I'm like a toddler when it comes to redstone, so there's no way that I'm gonna make this for this video, but in theory, I think it could work. It could also serve as another means of item transport, even working vertically. Or you could use it as human transport. This is pretty weird and janky, but you could do it if you wanted. Or maybe the subwoofer could be used to clear away the creepers in front of your base when you wake up. Maybe you're too lazy to make a minecart system for your farm. You could use the subwoofer, push one button, and immediately all of the bamboo or whatever you're harvesting will get pushed to one side and you can just collect it in a hopper. Every single video, I try one-upping myself. This series originally started as making a simple dungeon. I've gotten a lot better at Minecraft modding now than I was 3 years ago. So I could do this in like a single day. I'm just way better at coding things in the Minecraft. But we went from coding a simple structure to making an entirely new dimension with custom terrain, a couple new mobs, and a new redstone block. In hindsight, I definitely tried to do way too much, and I think it would have been better if I just focused on something a bit smaller. This video makes me sad because I feel like the idea was the coolest in the entire update series, but the execution was just so mediocre. You'll notice that I took a long break after this one, since I swear every time I work on one of these update videos, it shaves a month off the tail end of my lifespan. My own expectations for myself have gotten so high that I can no longer reach them. Plus, I was working with a tight deadline, everything was just rushed and not as good as it could have been. I apologize for that. I'm putting this in C tier.
I'm a software engineer and my passion is adding content to Minecraft. I've been thinking, the jungle temple is so boring. What would happen if I updated it? First of all, the loot needs to be better, that's a given, but how cool would it be if the jungle temple offered custom game mechanics and maybe even a new boss?
The gods demand sacrifice!
I'm gonna code all that in just 7 days, and later in the video, make a poor, unsuspecting player fight Minecraft's newest boss. Day 1, I'm gonna start making the boss because honestly, I've never made one and I don't even know if I can do it. Whenever I make stuff, I like to toss shapes around and see what happens, and look at some inspiration pictures to get the creative juices flowing. I'm going with an eclectic mix of cultures from around here and, tiki. I yoinked the Minecraft pumpkin face, stuck it on some wood, did some coloring, and voila. We have an angry tiki mask. That part was easy. The body? Oh god, the body. Eventually, I managed to sort it out. And I gave him a maquaddle, otherwise known as the Obsidian chainsaw. If you were a Mayan or an Aztec back in the day, you probably loved whacking people with your maquaddle. It was just the thing to do back then. And of course, every jungle warrior needs a Deku Shield from the Ocarina of Time. The last thing I did today was make sure all of his bones and joints were working. Hello. This was extremely tedious, but getting this part right will make it much easier to add animations. Day 2, it's time to bring this soulless husk to life. I've never animated anything, but as a gamer, I notice stiff animations. My guy needs to move with purpose. I spent the day creating more animations, and I think they turned out pretty good. I'm planning on adding 6 attacks in total, which is a lot when you realize that most Minecraft bosses have like 2 attacks. It's day 3, and what we have now is nothing more than a fancy statue. But today, I'm gonna bring it to life using 12 armor stands, a bunch of white dye, a husk, and a cat. Let me explain. I'm using a Blockbench plugin that bakes animations into a data pack that controls a bunch of invisible armor stands. Each armor stand has white dye in the head slot, which is retextured using a resource pack. The husk is going to be the boss's hitbox since it's the perfect size and doesn't burn in sunlight. Finally, I'll use the cat's AI for its movement since I want the boss to constantly run away and use a flurry of ranged magic attacks. With some coding magic, I glued everything together and even got the movement animations working. At this point, he's got enough life in him that I feel weird that I haven't picked a name after him yet, so from henceforth, he shall be called Sizin, the Stinking One, named after the Mayan god of earthquakes and death. And yes, they did actually call him the Stinking One. I thought that was interesting. It's day 4, and frankly, I'm sick of coding. So I'm gonna take a break from that and build the new jungle temple. Again, I'm clearly taking inspiration from Mayan culture. It's a simplistic design, but remember, the structure is mainly used as a boss arena. Just imagine you're walking through the jungle and see this magnificent Mayan pyramid peeking out over the tree canopies. You push your way through the dense rainforest and enter the jungle temple. You see this huge open space with an almost magical quality, in stark contrast to the claustrophobia you felt in the jungle brush. Your euphoria is short-lived, however, as you are met with a sudden,
"You were foolish to come here."
"Yes, he looks so good here." Enjoy your new home, Sis, and I filled it with delicious jungle people just for you. The villagers do serve a purpose in the boss fight, but more on that later. You might have noticed already that the voice acting is really good. Well, I hired a professional voice actor. Yeah, I'm not afraid to spend actual money, so if you want to see me dump even more money into making crazier updates, go support me on Patreon, and when you do, you can gain early access to all of my data packs. As for the arena, I disabled mob spawning with hidden lighting under the mossy carpet. If Monster Hunter has taught me anything, it's that little monsters getting involved in something that's clearly not their fight pisses me off. You won't have to deal with that in this boss fight. You're welcome. I also added these cool banners on the walls. I just stole this design from Planet Minecraft. The link to the banner pattern I used is in the description. Side note, I love End City banners because it's just another souvenir that you can put around your base that says, yeah, I did this thing. No big deal. Well, here's another cool knickknack for you to plunder. Around the arena perimeter, there are barrels full of arrows, which is your cue that you really want a bow for this boss battle. Zelda games do this sort of thing all the time. And of course, like any good boss fight, you will get locked in once the boss battle begins. It's day 5 and we're running out of time. Our boss battle is nowhere near ready for the fight with Ekmani, so we gotta pick up the pace and code Citizen's attacks. Every good boss fight has well-telegraphed attacks that can be avoided by skillful players. But from the very first encounter, you should be able to tell that the boss is attacking, even if you don't know exactly what it's going to do. As a visual indicator, I made an alternative model variant where Citizen's eyes, mouth, and war paint glow a ghostly green to indicate that he's attacking. The first attack will summon giant hordes of endermites. Originally, I wanted to use silverfish, but they started eating the whole jungle temple and made a giant mess, so it was clear that that wasn't going to work out. So, endermites it is. These are a lot more dangerous than they appear, since they have a speed and power buff, but don't worry, they die in a couple of seconds. It's also a pretty good source of XP. The second attack teleports Citizen to the center of the jungle temple, where he fires out a wave of ghost skulls. If they hit you, you take damage and you're poisoned for 10 seconds. For Citizen's third attack, he calls forth 2 skeletons from the grave and then holds up his shield while the skeletons attack you. This shield isn't just for show, it actually blocks, which I'm super proud of. For his fourth attack, he runs at you wildly, swinging his McQuaddle. This attack is unblockable and does 3 hearts of damage. His fifth attack is a variant of his ghost skull attack. He teleports to the center of the stage and fires 1 giant purple ghost skull directly at the nearest player. If you get hit by this, you take damage and suffer 10 seconds of nausea. In a fight like this where the boss is fast and teleports everywhere, getting disoriented is deadly. Citizen's 6th and final attack makes him turn blood red as he consumes a nearby villager to recover some health.
The gods demand sacrifice!
So the player is left with an uncomfortable decision. Do you slay every single villager yourself before Citizen has the chance to consume them, or do you try to kill Citizen as quickly as you can to save as many villagers as possible? But these aren't just normal villagers. Mayans mainly sacrifice enemy nobility, so I set these villagers to only have max level trades, which makes losing them so much more painful. In my opinion, what separates a good boss battle from a great boss battle is when the environment itself is part of the fight. That brings us to day 6. I'm sure you guys are wondering, why go through all this hassle? We need a prize, a reason to fight. Beating the Ender Dragon gives you access to wings, killing the Wither lets you make a beacon, but those are endgame bosses. Remember, any schmuck can just walk into the jungle temple. We gotta give the player something good, but not too good. When you defeat Citizen, lightning comes through the opening at the top of the temple, strikes the ground, and creates a passage to the treasure room. You can see 3 altars that hold a spooky eyeball, a crystal skull, and the head of a skeleton king. But do you risk taking them? Who knows what terrible curse may be wrought upon you? Okay, no, they're just knickknacks. You can take them if you want. The player can also get a mountain of gold, some shiny gemstones, and some extra treasure in these barrels. But the true treasure is the sparkling spring. These waters have the magical ability to repair your items, for a fee of course. Toss in a damaged item along with a diamond and your item is miraculously restored. It's like mending, but tied to a location. I still think mending is better once you get a solid XP farm up and running, but the sparkling spring is amazing early to mid game. It's our 7th and final day, which I'll spend doing various balance tweaks to Citizen's attacks and a bunch of miscellaneous cleanup so you guys can download and play the data pack for yourselves. Not gonna lie, there's something terrible in there, but if you manage to not die, I'll give you a mostly used Starbucks gift card.
What am I supposed to buy with that?
All right, Ikmani, go on in.
What are they doing up there?
Yeah, I know they're oh, there's a cat in here. This was not part of the script.
I want it.
You are foolish.
Oh my god! Oh!
The gods demand sacrifice.
Uh-oh. We already lost a villager.
Die, die, die!
Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm being poisoned.
Get your bow out.
I'm too...
Oh, look out for those. Those do a lot of damage.
I'm gonna die so fast. The poison.
Can't die that quickly.
I'm gonna die.
Oh no. Okay, Ikmani, attempt number 2. Yep, we just gotta do the same thing, but a lot better.
You are foolish to come here. Die, die, die!
How am I supposed to block myself from that?
You can't block that, you just gotta back up and avoid
Die,
it.
die, die!
I don't want to die.
Run away!
Disgusting weakling.
Why is he saying these things to me?
I know, he's awfully mean,
Die,
isn't
die,
he?
die!
Oh, he deals so much damage. Oh,
He does.
I'm gonna
I
die.
almost hit you.
I'm dead.
Okay, Ikmani, attempt number 3. We got this, we got
okay.
this.
Okay.
Go on, go on. Go to the middle. Get your bow ready.
Mm-hmm. It's ready.
Okay, it's drawn.
Mm-hmm.
You are foolish to come here. Disgusting weakling.
Oh.
Dust and rust.
Oh, you
shot
hit
you.
me!
Well, you got in my way. Oh. Ah! He's after
Disgusting
me.
weakling.
You call me a disgusting weakling?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's coming after me!
I love feeding time. Disgusting.
Oh, we almost got him, we almost got him. Oh no, he got me!
I got
The
poisoned.
nausea.
Oh, no, 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 no! No!
Oh, the villager, no!
I'm gonna eat. He's coming after me!
The gods demand sacrifice.
Oh, he's eating all the villagers!
What?
Look at how much health that recovered.
What?
You will make a worthy
Oh
offering.
my god, he keeps eating them. Oh, we're not gonna have any villagers left, Ikmani.
Oh,
All those delicious jungle people.
I love feeding time.
why is he eating them? Oh,
We
did we get
did it.
oh.
I believe this was featured in a Phoenix SC video. I wasn't able to find it, but I'm like 90% certain that he included it at some point. Something I used to do a lot back in the day, but I don't do a lot anymore because it's just not really worth the time. I would post things onto Reddit, onto r/Minecraft, and they would get a lot of attention, so much so that sometimes they would be within spitting distance of the front page of Reddit, which was really cool. And then the mouth-breathing moderators of r/Minecraft would always take down my content because I was like a small YouTuber at the time, and I was doing it for self-promotion. But there's an upvote and a downvote. People were upvoting it because they liked it. Huh, so frustrating. I don't care now, but it's just, it's something I'm sure that a lot of other fledgling YouTubers probably go through at some point. Something a lot of you guys probably don't realize was this was almost the end of my update series. I thought people weren't interested anymore because I posted it and it sat at 13k views for 3 months because the original thumbnail was just terrible. And then 3 months later, I decided to change the thumbnail and look at what happened. I have never resurrected a video. I can't express how rare it is for content on YouTube to be given a second chance like this. But seeing 20 minutes of work to go make a new thumbnail to have this level of impact was just so satisfying. Epic video, A tier.
I need to apologize for what I said in my last video. Some older structures are great. Then there are some that feel dated. For example, this is a dungeon. I might have been a bit too harsh. Does this look like a dungeon to you? No, sir, that's a sad little box. But can I really do any better? I'm giving myself just 7 days to overhaul the dungeon, and later in the video, I'll drop a poor, unsuspecting player into the middle of this twisted labyrinth for science. And go. Oh, and did I mention that I want this dungeon to procedurally generate in the world? Yeah, I don't know how to do that yet, so one moment, please. I got it. So basically, we need to use 2 hidden blocks that I'm sure many of you guys have never seen before. You can't even get these through the creative menu, you have to use a special command to cheat them in. The first block is the structure block. It lets us save and load structures. What's a bit more confusing is the jigsaw block, which procedurally glues together all the little structures to make a bigger, more complicated structure. Trust me, it'll make sense when you see it. Here, I made 3 rooms, saved them, and now if I did everything right... My god, am I smart. Now that we know the basics, I think it's time to start building. Well, I spent about 5 hours building all these rooms. Every room is a little bit different, so let me show you some of my favorites. So you saw the spider pit room in the time lapse, but I also made another variant of it. Now, I'm going to get on my soapbox for a second here. Everybody breaks the cave spider spawners. It is the one type of spawner, I tell you, that doesn't get any respect around here. But should you disobey the cardinal sin of Minecraft and decide to break the spawner, the floor will fall out beneath you and then you land on these dripstone spikes. Next, we have the armory, which is a very small cramped room with narrow corridors, and it's got a loot room in the very middle. So here, you just got some basic beginning loot things. So you got chainmail armor. I don't know what I'm going to put there yet. You got a stone sword. So just things that are nice to find in the very beginning of your adventure until you look up and realize there's a creeper spawner there. I know. It's definitely going to catch some people off guard because it is obviously not something that spawns naturally, but I am going to give you a run for your money. This is one sadistic dungeon. And finally, my favorite room out of all 10, we have what I call the crypt. It is very spooky, as you can see, kind of a necromancy theme going on with some catacombs around here. You got a sarcophagus with nothing in here. Oh, where did the skeletons go? And in this lectern, you open this and you see what looks like some ancient dark magic, but in reality, it's just a diary entry about my most recent trip to the dentist. The end goal is to have these rooms randomly generated and then have hallways spawn in between them, connecting them all together. But alas, that is tomorrow's problem. Good morning and welcome to day 3. It's hallway day. After a few hours of work, I came up with 8 different hallway designs. Some will take you to different levels in the dungeon, some expect you to do some parkour, some of these hallways have loot, and others are filled with dangerous traps. I've got yet another falling floor trap, and one hallway that looks really suspicious, but in actuality, it's just a gravel floor, completely harmless. My goal is to really get into people's heads. Not too bad for a day's work. I say tomorrow, we add more rooms. After a couple more hours, I've got 8 smaller rooms. Some of them are pretty basic, but others have surprises that you can't find anywhere else in the game. And then over here, I've got a skeleton spawner, but rather than using a bow, they dual-wield axes and have a strength and speed boost, making it one of the most dangerous rooms in the entire dungeon. Then over here, we have an abandoned blacksmith room, and I love how this turned out. Welcome, gamers, to day 5. I need to go through and actually fill these rooms with loot. Nothing super interesting, but you can't go into a dungeon with a bunch of empty chests everywhere. And it's day 6, the day that I'm the most excited for, but also the most worried about. Today, I am putting all these rooms together, and if I can't figure this out, the whole video falls apart. No pressure. As you can see, I put jigsaw blocks in every single entrance of every single room, did some configuration work, and now I think we should be good to test this out. I'm pretty nervous about this. It could straight up not work, or even worse, make a giant mess in my world. A careful man might say, you know, maybe start with the baby dungeon if you're not sure, but I'm way too excited to be careful. Oh, it works! Oh, and it looks so good! Let's see how big this actually is. Oh, it's pretty big. That is a sizable dungeon. I'm loving it. And the height is varied, and as far as I can see so far, all the rooms are connecting. I mean, it looks really good. We do have openings here, but remember, everything's going to be underground. That's just going to be solid rock, so you're not actually going to be seeing exposed dungeon. Oh yeah, this is beautiful. I could not be happier. I want to see what this actually looks like with mobs in it. So how bad is this really? Okay, it's already looking pretty dangerous. Oh yeah, look at that spider pit. you do not want to go down there. Let's make sure the loot works. Oh yeah, everything's populating. All right, we only have 1 day before we throw an innocent player into this horrific dungeon. I'm going to spend it making sure that it spawns during World Gen and getting it to a state where you guys can download it and play it for yourself. It's day 7 and I spent the entire day trying to get the dungeon to naturally generate in the world, but I finally got it, and you know what? I'm in love. This dungeon turned out better than I could have ever dreamed. This was so much fun to watch the whole thing come together, and I really think I made a special kind of nightmare. And guess what? If you hate yourself too, you can download this data pack and put it into your world. The link for that is in the comments. I think we're ready for some playtesting. Ekmani, I've got a data pack for you.
Oh no.
Welcome, Ekmani, to Whimzee's World of Pain. Please set your spawn point here. Did you set it?
Yes.
Okay, you have 10 minutes to get the best possible loot you can. If you die 3 times, you lose. There's some starter equipment in each of these 3 chests. I'll give you a minute to suit up, and when you're ready, we can begin. 3, 2, 1, go!
Okay. Oh my god! Oh my god. I'm gonna die. There's no way.
Okay, you got 3 lives.
There's no way. I can't get out!
You broke the cardinal sin of Minecraft.
Oh no. Okay.
Oh, you popped.
Sick.
Attempt number 2.
Oh my god. No. What is this? Are you kidding me?
Oh, it's a good thing you got that water bucket.
Oh my god, I can't do anything.
This
is evil.
Uh-huh.
Okay, this is really scary. Oh, there's witches!
There's a nice, safe blacksmith room over here.
Oh my god, there's diamonds! I bet there's good stuff down there, but no shot. I'm not going down. Oh no!
Oh, look out! They're coming for you!
Golden apple, okay. Another golden apple.
Oh, there you go. Some good stuff.
I need this. Okay. I can't enchant anything. Oh.
What a gamer move.
Didn't get me.
So good.
Emeralds are loot. I like emeralds.
I can't believe you didn't fall down there. I thought you were done for sure.
I saw the gravel and I was like, you know what? This looked like the first one.
Are you gonna parkour over this?
What is this?
Oh, nice.
There's
a zombie, look out! Don't you want to mine these nice harmless diamonds?
Yeah, I do.
Wow,
okay.
More creepers.
Oh god. I'm so bad. Okay.
Oh, that's awesome. No, that's really good.
There's a spawner. Where is it?
I don't know.
I saw them fall from above. Where is it?
Mine some diamonds.
No! Trying to trick me. Get away from me!
I would never do such a thing.
You were helping all along.
I was, and you didn't trust me.
Wait, I just got a buff. Oh no. Oh, he's got a buff. Get away from me.
Oh, you got it.
Oh, no!
Oh, run away!
Oh my god!
That's the worst.
No! Oh, this is so nice.
Yeah, nice and safe over here. Oh, not the creeper room!
Oh,
nice shield, nice shield.
What's this? Oh, no! It's the same one!
Oh, there's a lot of spawners down there. Do you want to go down there, get some good loot? I'm sure there's good stuff at the bottom.
I'm sure there is too.
Trapping yourself in with the poison spiders, that's an interesting strategy. I like that.
I'm so scared.
You're so smart though.
Yeah, I am.
Oh no, no, no! Run away!
Oh, I'm stuck. What's in here? Diamonds!
Get the diamonds!
Does this count if I die?
Okay, time.
Get me out of here! Get me out! Please! Oh my god!
You're in creative now. You're safe.
Oh.
We count that.
Okay.
Very, very good job, Ekmani. Put all of your loot in the chest and let's see what you got.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so is that everything?
Mm-hmm.
Not a bad haul, but you know what? Come with me. Come with me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
There is some really good stuff at the bottom of that spider pit, and yeah, you gotta go.
He's a magical blacksmith from lands unknown. He's your favorite data packet ice cream cone. You might ask yourself, who is he? It's Whimzee! The dungeon update was the first update I ever made, and it was kind of a throwaway video. I spent like 2 days making the video portion, and I never expected it to become the core series on my channel, but here we are. I'm the Minecraft update guy now. The structure is fine, but the video is old enough that I look back and cringe when I watch it, so for that reason, I'll put it in B tier. Also, can we acknowledge that the old outro slaps? I paid a guy on Fiverr like 80 bucks to make it, and I can tell by the YouTube bar that you guys listen to it on repeat. It kind of makes you want to bring it back, honestly. Even though the updates are what I'm known for, I'm really lucky that you guys still watch all the other stuff I post. Whether it's coding a walking base, or playing obscure Minecraft clones, or coding literal malware. You guys have always been there for it, and not many YouTubers can say that. So, to show how grateful I am, I'm making all of my updates publicly available. Join the Discord and you can download anything you've seen in this video. Make sure to check out War Thunder now for free and use my links in the pinned comment or video description to register. Those of you who are new or haven't played in 6 months will also receive a massive bonus pack across PC and consoles, including multiple premium vehicles, in-game currency, and more. And a massive thank you to all of my Patreons. I could not make these videos without your support. I really appreciate it.